Faders of the Lost Art.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Faders of the Lost Art. This episode, we have an extra special guest, the one and only Cool from Cool and Dre, legendary producer in the building, done records all the way from Fat Joe to Jay-Z, you name it, bro. This guy and Cool and Dre, bro, these guys are legends. Bro, Cool is the coolest guy in the house. Please give a warm welcome to Cool.
Go.
What's good, fellas? What you got back there? What program is that on that monitor?
Who me?
Yeah, you.
I got Pro Tools. I do the dark. I do the dark template.
Ah, the dark vibe. Hold on, what is that shit?
Yeah,
that shit is completely different.
No, I do the dark template and I go crazy with the colors.
Nah, that's dope. that shit looking like one of them throwback programs like Cubase and shit. I'm like, hold on, what you using back there? You got some throwback shit going on.
I got tired of the gray, man. Of the
Yeah, no. I got my shit. My shit is dark, but it don't look like that. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
It's like your shit is flat.
Nah, you just go to background, like because you see where they got the whole UI. Go to background, you just all the way to the left. It's pretty lit. I did it red one time. It was too much.
Yeah, I might try that.
How you been though, man, brother? Good to see you, man.
Been good, bro. Just been working. Got a bunch of stuff going on. And you know how this shit is, bro. You just gotta. Music game is a definitely a different game. You got to be on this shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure like. So we just been working on a bunch of stuff and just stuff outside of music. You know what I'm saying? Just diversify.
Of course, you got to.
So, but yeah, everything's great, man. Thank God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, we've been talking about that a few times on the show already. Just diversifying and different avenues and streams.
There's no way you have to do it because if the way that the game is now with labels taking forever to pay producer advances and just getting producer fees off labels, period, is a mission. You know what I'm saying? So you got to create other revenue streams that way you do it in the music. You're not solely banking on your music career to you know what I'm saying? Right. To make sure that your family's good. You feel me?
Nah, yeah, you got to be. Yeah. I always tell people, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but like we're like entrepreneurs by right, we're just like independent contractors. So you got to get it. Like you kind of don't know that in the beginning, but eventually you learn like, okay, like one stream is just one stream of income isn't cutting it.
The sad truth about the whole thing is us as creatives, we were never equipped early on with the financial literacy to be able to utilize our royalty income or, you know what I'm saying, or our BMI streams and all that and invest this shit and, you know what I'm saying, and diversify our money early on. You know what I'm saying? Normally, motherfuckers start trying to diversify when it's like, oh, hold up. This shit ain't coming in like it used to. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you should have been already working on that.
But we don't know because as creatives, bro, we ain't thinking about that shit. We thinking about
1,000%.
Thinking about equipment. We thinking about melodies. We thinking about sonics. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You ask us about that, we ready. You know what I'm saying? But you ask us about, you know what I'm saying, RIAs and fucking, you know what I'm saying, and stocks and all that, and we're gonna be like, hold up, let me call my man real quick. You know what I mean?
What's your viewpoint on like managers then? Do you think engineers should, or you guys feel free to jump in? Like, do you guys think engineers should have managers, or that's
You know what? Back in the day, that was a thing. You know what I'm saying? It was a thing where a lot of the bigger engineers had management companies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they would the manager would be the person that would kind of like set up the schedule, making sure that the engineer got paid. Depending on the engineer, they made sure that the engineer got some. If it was one of those engineers that required points,
right.
they would make sure that all that back end business would be handled accordingly. Making sure the studio's booked, making sure if the engineers using their studio, that the studio is PO'd properly. That way the studio makes the money and the engineer gets their fee. They're on top of the day-to-day, any type of recalls that are needed. But now, since everything is kind of like in the box and everything is so email, internet, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You really just need like an assistant, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like a good assistant that can manage, you know, if you're like popping, all you really need is a really good assistant. And that way someone that is handling, like I said, the bookings and is handling the POs and stuff like that.
Right, the day-to-day, the emails.
Yeah, because realistically, bro, you're only, as an engineer, a manager. See, even though, look, I respect everybody's hustle, but as management for an engineer, like when a manager goes and tries to pitch an engineer, like I've never had a manager say, "Hey, I manage this engineer." You know what I mean? Normally, we're looking at credits. If we like a mix, we're like, "Whoa, who mixed this?" And then we're like, "Who is this engineer?" And I'm hitting them on IG, like, "Yo, what up?"
Right.
It's Cool and Dre, and 99% of the times they know who we are, and they'll click on and be like, "Yo, big fan, blah blah blah," and then we get to work right away. I'm like, "Yo, I need you to mix something. We're working on this project, blah blah blah," and then we make the connection from there.
Right.
So you can't really sell an engineer that's not hot. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Nah, for sure. So the manager wouldn't be really, I guess in today's age, wouldn't really be selling the engineer. They'd probably just be more like an assistant, like you're saying, right?
That you just need a good assistant. Why give up whatever 20% or whatever percentage you're giving up when you can have somebody on some type of like salary? You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
That's doing everything a manager would do. Guess what? Hey, I need you to promote my Instagram. Go on, give me some Facebook ads, get me some YouTube ads, like play the whole game. But there's not really like, in all my years, I've never had a manager come up to me like, "Yo, man, I manage so and so. He mixed so and so."
Right.
I'm like, hold up. Normally, we work a lot with some of the big boy engineers, like Manny Marroquin. He has a manager.
Yeah. Right.
This guy's schedule is completely, he working with all the big boys. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people.
For sure.
You know, it's different.
I'm a huge Manny fan. Yeah, I love Manny.
Yeah, so see, when I deal with Manny, I'm calling him directly. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Yo, Manny," I'm calling his ass at his house. You know what I'm saying? Like, "Yo, Manny," you know what I'm saying? I know the schedule's crazy, but I need this mix done ASAP. And then he connects me with his assistant. I get him the files and he slides me in the schedule. You know what I'm saying? He help me, bumps the line for me a little bit. But I've had a relationship with him for years. You know what I'm saying? Like we go back. So, but all the other guys mainly have assistants, bro. Assistants. Yeah. But I'm not like, I always look at what can you bring to the table that an assistant can't? Right? Do you are you locked in with some A&Rs that are going to guarantee me work right away? Or, you know what I'm saying? Because, the engineer shit is about an opportunity, right? So you get an opportunity to work with an artist and you deliver for that artist. Their album becomes, people go and listen to the album, and then they go and seek you out because they like,
you start to develop a name and a brand.
Of course. Like there was we gave a new engineer a shot recently. His name is Kevin No Name Spencer, I think. He's out of Atlanta, and he mixed a record that we did with Wale and J. Cole, and we sampled the Vibrant Thing record, right?
Right.
And so Wale was like, "Yo, my guy, I'm gonna have my guy Kev mix it." So I was like, "Bro, you sure?"
Yeah, right.
Like, yo,
this is so dope to hear, honestly, because we always, wonder about this process. Go continue.
Yeah, I'm like, "You sure? Are you sure?" Yeah. Because this is not a regular record. Like, we can't fuck this up with a bad mix. And Wale was like, "Nah, cool. I'm telling you, he's official, right?" So first thing we're in LA and we're putting the final touches on the record. And thank God that we went to LA, because when I heard the template, the rough mix of the record,
Right.
the engineer who did I don't know who the engineer was, but the engineer who did the rough mix of the record had added a bunch of shit to our drums. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And
Okay.
it completely, the second they pressed play, my heart dropped. I was like, what happened? What happened? Hold on, what's going on? Did I not give y'all the right sounds? Like, did I bounce? So I had to literally, before I even said anything, I literally put my headphones on and listened to the stems that I sent. Because I'm like, hold on, was I smoking something that day? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me figure
No, I
out
always got to
what's
double
going
check,
on.
right? Yeah,
Because it was completely different. The kick, you know, as producers, we add texture with the sounds that we add.
Yeah.
Some things to keep it gritty. Some things are meant to, you know, everything has its place. Everything has its home.
Of course.
And so when I heard the kick, it was super like tapping, and I was like, yo. And then I heard the 808, and the 808 completely sounded different. So I literally, and this, mind you, this is the session before they were going to send it to the mix engineer.
Right, got you.
So that's why, again, that's how important it is when you have the opportunity to be present on the creative process, right?
So important.
So did that engineer change the sounds, or he just mixed them?
Let me tell you. So I go to the engineer before, you know, before I go into violence mode, choke this guy out, because I'm like, there's no way. Like, why are you even fucking with the sounds? First of all, right? Like you should just be at most a little EQ. You know what I'm saying? But why are you? So I go to the engineer, and I know, you know, this is the artist's main engineer. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see. So I'm like, yo, what happened to the original kick? He goes, we processed it a little bit before we get it up to the engineer. I'm like, I'm like, pull up the EQ channel. So this is where it really gets interesting. So he pulls up the EQ channel, and it's no EQ. So I'm like, yo, hold on, bro. This ain't my kick. You ain't even adding nothing to it. He goes, oh, no. Hold up. This is a stem. We printed it with the processing. I said, hold up.
Wow.
I said, bro, you can't do that. I said, because now there's nothing to take away. There's nothing to add.
Oh, man.
The sound is completely different.
Those stems was going to get given to the mix engineer.
So the mixing engineer was going to get the stems with everything the way it was, and then he was going to go in there and do his thing, right?
Wow.
So I'm like, yo, pull up the original stem that I sent.
Right.
So yeah, he had to open up an older session.
Right.
He opened up an older session with my original stems. They were all deactivated. Yeah. I'm like, yo, turn all the original stems back. And then import all these stems into the new session with all the latest vocals. Drops everything in there, deactivates all the new stems.
The rigmarole.
Brings the old ones back in. And I'm like, you press this play, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. Like, I was like, this, bro, I'm like, this is what I expected to hear. You know what I'm saying? When we came in this damn studio, like, he's like, bro, please, I respect you. You know what I'm saying? I respect what you do. Yeah. But when we send you stuff, so we've been doing this shit 20 years, bro. Our shit don't need.
Oh, yeah, already.
Our shit don't need you know what I'm saying? Crazy, save that shit for the new guys. You know what I'm saying? But our shit, leave it just the way it is. Because if you start fucking with it, the engineer is gonna think, the mix engineer is gonna think that's how it came. It's supposed to be. Right. And it completely threw away the whole groove of the record. So I was like, completely, because I was like, you know, a lot of times certain EQs or compressors, they will fuck up the swing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times if you don't adjust that threshold right or the dynamics right, that it'll make the kick play later. You know what I'm saying? It'll make the kick
sometimes
play
latency.
earlier.
Right.
If the
Even
hi-hat
just
is not at the right
different
level, it'll
levels
make the
feel
record
different.
feel fast.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, he put that back up, and even there was a live bass that did one note that we liked, that played on a downbeat. They were like, yo, that's a vibe. That was dope. But when I heard it with the way that originally we did it at the studio, I was like, thank you, bro. Like, let the engineer work off of this, because he's just
for sure.
And then
I mean, if you prepping, why I don't understand why they would have went so far to do.
I've never seen nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. A lot, I don't know what it was, but thank God that we were at the studio and I heard it to be able to catch it.
He caught it right away.
Oh my God! Because then that move alone, right? Him doing that, when we would have got the reference mix, we would have immediately wanted to kill the mix engineer.
Yeah.
We would have automatically ruled him out of ever using him, and he had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it. Wow.
So to the engineers out there that are listening, that are recording engineers, even if you do mix, if a producer sends you a file, do not over process their shit, and do not print their drums over with your processing. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no going back from that. It's like printing a vocal. It's like printing a vocal with auto-tune. You can't take that auto-tune off. It's there.
Right.
So the guy sends back the mix engineer. We get back the mix, and I was blown away. I was like, yo, motherfucker really mixed this record. You know what I'm saying? Every time we go to the club, they would play that record, right? Because I always said, yo, if you're gonna sample something that was a popular record, your shit got to be as good or better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sonically, your shit got to be equally vibe, or sonically you got to go. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard it in the club and the DJ brought it in with vibing thing, and then he put our record in, I heard our mix. I was like, oh shit, this guy really mixed the shit out of this record. Neck. Right. Yeah, he mixed this record, like, wow. Like, and then we've been using them since. Like, he mixed a lot of we're just wrapped up Dre's album, and he mixed probably like 80% of the album. And then we've been working on it. So literally he's our go-to guy right now. So he's like literally like, anytime we do anything new, yo, here you go. Like, he's, bro, on the independent side, he's probably made like 50, 60 grand off of us on the mixing side. He would have never made $1 had he had the recording engineer sent him the original stems, because I would have blamed the mixing.
Right.
It would have been downhill spiral from there. I would have been like, yo, we never use any. Like, shout out,
what's his name? Shout out Kevin Spencer.
Kevin No Name Spencer, out of Atlanta. He's sick.
Definitely. Gotta go follow him ASAP.
We use him for everything. And he masters too. So it's like, we give it to him, he sends it back ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
Ready to go, upload.
So he's our go-to right now.
Fire, man. Yeah. Atlanta's got some great engineers, man. They always have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Do you remember working together in the mid-90s?
Mid-90s. Hold on.
You guys weren't popping yet. You guys were real early. Had just come up to New York from Miami.
Wow.
A few tracking sessions together. I recorded a bunch of vocals for you guys for the Terror Squad crew.
Oh yeah, if it was Fat Joe, it was those are fun times, man.
And then you guys headed back down to Miami.
Quad? Was it Quad?
Yeah, we were at Quad.
I remember you from Quad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had that whole building. Every floor we was popping in there.
Jeez. Yeah, those were the days, man. So it's good to see you again. I haven't seen you since.
My brother, good to see you too, family. Good to see you too.
It's legendary, man.
Man, anything else cooking up with Fat Joe lately? I love that song. Yes.
So this is the thing. So Joe, I ain't gonna lie, man, he's making so much money. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. He's got the stores. He's got the media stuff going on. He's got shows. He's like, we're trying to get him in the studio, man. We're trying to get him in the studio.
It's hard. I feel
and every time he sees me, he's like, yo, cool. I gotta come see you. I gotta come see you. Great. Like I'm in the and I'm like, Brand, you ain't coming nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But you know, a lot of the time, the biggest blessing that can happen, and that's for anyone in this business, man, is to be able to make money outside of the business, right?
Branch out, yeah.
And I think, you know, he cracked the code and he's doing great. I'm so happy for him. And yeah, we're definitely going to get back in. We got a bunch of ideas, a bunch of things that are drafted up. And, you know, with him, it's easy, bro. We literally get in the studio and like, we're coming out of there with something because he's got that ear. You know what I mean? Like that ear. He's got that keen ear where if he says it's one of those, I'm like, I'm putting the house on it. You know what I mean?
He's such a picker of talent as well.
Yeah.
His ability to spot great artists is incredible.
Yeah, the man has a pristine ear. And I told him after when we did All the Way Up, he just heard we were in the studio and we're our guy Exclusive was brought up this horn sample. We started vibing on the beat. And the minute Joe heard it, he was like, that's it. I'm like, what are you talking about? This shit ain't even like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, yo, this is a hit. I'm like, so the beat gets finished. He's like, cool, this record's gonna be bigger than Lean Back. I'm like, yo, Joe, stop. Stop, bro. He's like, I'm telling you. So this is just the beat, bro. This is the beat. So I'm like, yo, Joe's crazy, right? So weeks go by and boom, we get the hook on the record. I hear the hook and I'm like, hold up, this thing might be this thing is a nice, it's catchy vibe. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not thinking nothing of it. Joe's like, yo, this shit is I'm telling you, Remy's verse comes in and then Joe does his verse and the whole song is done. And I'm like, oh, this record is I ain't gonna lie, it feels big, right? But I'm still not thinking. Joe's like, yo, this shit is out of here. This is gonna be my biggest record, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, Joe, if this record becomes all that you say it's gonna be, I will never second guess your ear ever again. You know what I'm saying? like you, I could flush the toilet and you'd be like, yo, that's it. And I'm like, yo, because we got one. You know what I mean?
Right. Let's put it out right now.
I was like, he was on it though from the second he heard it, and his ear is like that. His ear is like that, and
crazy.
You know, lo and behold, man, that record really did really big for him on the worldwide spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Lean Back was monster and still a monster in terms of radio and all that. You know what I'm saying? And all the way
up is going to be sync licensed for
all the way up is timeless. That record is going to play for years to come, and it's three times going on 4 times platinum, and it just doesn't stop. That shit just goes. It's like one of those records it's
timeless, like you said. Right. I'll be trying to tell people like the difference between, you know, timeless music and just like a hit, you know, that's like trendy, comes and goes.
Yeah. And that's what me and Dre, man, you know, we make timeless records, like All the Way Up, timeless. New York, timeless. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Hate It or Love It, timeless. I'm at the crib the other day and I'm listening to, now mind you, this is the new station. They're playing all the new shit, Little Baby, fucking all the new vibes that's on the radio and on fucking on big playlists and shit. And boom, Hate or Love It comes on. I'm like, hold on, did we put this on the hip hop classic? Nah, this shit was on there with they were like, yo, we gotta throw this with the new vibe. Of
course, man.
Yeah, so
that's one of my favorite tracks, dog, for real.
Yeah, that's a special record.
That record is insane.
Appreciate you.
That record's insane, bro. For real.
What you got on the wall back there? AK, the red.
Man, it's a I got this little Supreme theme going on in the room, right? So
nice.
Fire.
I took like I got this little vibe over here, like all this little like cool little Supreme little gadgets and shit. And I took the AK. It's actually a real AK with real bullets in the magazine. It's real. Just know that shit comes off the wall. It's
So if we see you jump on top of your keyboard, it's going down.
It's going down. It's going down. So, you know, I put the little Supreme theme on the AK just to add a little touch of a vibe. Like, got the little Supreme beach chairs. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep the theme going. But yeah. And then I'm a big record collector. This is like probably not even 1/4. Like I have like like I got like these are just a couple of vibes, but I love vinyl, man. It's nothing like vinyl is like before YouTube, it was digging in the crates. And it was a surprise. Like every time, like when you're on a YouTube channel of some old school dude that just has a bunch of old school like soul stuff on there, a whole bunch of old stuff on there, then it's like hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second.
You should see Melman spend hours going through crates, and then he would run the turntable through an EQ, an old graphic, a Uri graphic, on the way to his MPC
to filter out the sounds.
He would spend hours just going through records.
Bro, let me tell you, you have to be a special type of individual to enjoy digging through thousands of records in your hands with wipies and a portable turntable. You have to be a sick bastard. You know what I'm saying? I would literally be there was a record store. There was one of the last record stores left out here off Oakland Park Boulevard called Larry's Records. And I would go there, and this dude it was like this, almost like the size of a CVS. It was huge, aisles and aisles. So I would be there, and his wife would be selling records on eBay all day, right? So I'm here like, ding, she's just selling them shits like hotcakes, right? And then I would literally get there Saturday, as soon as they open, right? And this is like, was just the turntable, and every genre of music you can think of, right? And it's like digging for gold. It's like you know what I'm saying? Like a treasure. Jeez. And I would be there all day. I would go grab some food, come back. I would bring her, be like, yo, what do you want? You want something to eat? Boom, boom, boom. And it got to the point where she was literally charging me nothing for these records. But if I heard like a snare, I'm buying a record. Like I wouldn't even get to the B side. I would go, if I heard something on track 1, side A, I'm packing it up. I'm moving on to the next record, right? But most of the craziest thing is most of the gems. I would buy a record for a snare on one side and then find the sickest sample on the B side that I didn't even listen to.
Yeah,
right?
Crazy, man.
And then you literally start knowing how to find dope artists just by their covers.
I was gonna say, do you go by the cover art when you're?
I would look at a cover and I'd be like, "Yo, there's some shit on here."
Yo, can you imagine that? That's so.
Bro,
fire.
I'm telling you, the covers. You would see some dudes and they would be like looking crazy as fuck with like a guitar and sitting on top of a tree with like a monkey. Like, bro, I'd be like, "Yo, these motherfuckers." Right. There was no way these guys went on some serious drugs, acid, whatever they was on. They were making some shit in that studio. And 9 times out of 10, there was always something special on there. You know what I'm saying?
So how many times when you would find some magic and then you get through the record making process, it goes to the label, goes to the sample clearance department, and then it gets shot down? Like what?
You know what? I can't lie to you, man. It happens all the time. Especially back in the day, it happened a lot more, right? But what happens is through experience, you start to know who to sample, right? And what catalogs to deal with. So if we're published through Universal, we're gonna before I sample something, I'll go through my publisher and be like, yo, I see this shit says Universal. You guys control the rights for this? And they'll be like, yeah, but this guy's an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah. So we try to do it depending on if we're working on something and the sample is too fucking crazy where it's like, yo, this is a special one, right? We do some research first now, right? Because we don't want to fall into a situation where boom, you get Jay-Z a record and they deny it, right? Because there's always that one guy that is a writer on there that you always roll that dice, like, hold up. There's that one writer that just is anti-hip-hop, is like, he doesn't want nothing to do with rap music, and he's like, yo, I don't want these fucking guys using my music, blah, 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 and they will deny you every time, right? So you literally
doesn't like money.
Yeah, you can clearly have a clearance from everybody, and then when the last guy, he's like, nah, I'm denying it.
That
but
happened to me on the Eminem record.
Yeah,
that was
we've been in every scenario, bro, where we sample stuff and it's gotten denied, and normally when it happens, it's really it really the record is done. It's a wrap.
Do you ever have somebody recreate samples for you?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. We've never had good luck with that. We've done it back in the day, and it's just what happens is this, right? The artists get demoitis, and once they get demoitis, the minute they have to switch the beat, and you got to come up with something different.
Oh, not flips. I'm not talking about
no.
selling an artist on a
flip
of an interpolation.
No. I'm talking about first of all, the art. So as you know, when you get denied, you're either going to get denied from the master, you're going to get denied from someone who wrote on the publishing side.
So when you get denied,
most of the times, believe it or not, it's the issue becomes on the master side, because the people who own the master, they want a ton of money, or they don't, or there's a vocal on there, right, from like a famous singer, right, that they don't want, the state doesn't want no one using his vocal, right? His vocal. So what happens is, at that point, you have to recreate. They'll be like, yo, we'll clear it, but you got to take Sam Cooke's vocal off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The estate is not going for anything with his vocal on it. You can replay the music all you want. So, but at that point, the artist is completely married to the record. I think now, if we were to be in that situation, because we have so many dope composers and musicians, we could recreate pretty much anything to a T, right? Except a vocal. Like, it's gonna be hard to fucking recreate a Sam Cooke, or you know what I'm saying, or
unless that AI.
Yeah,
that AI stuff gets crazy.
You ain't lying, bro. I didn't even think about that, but you're damn right. The AI.
This is the sample recreations of what I've done for like. Oh look.
Hello.
Good night, music. So, but you know what? I ain't lying to you. That AI is
crazy.
The game changer, bro.
It's next level. Yeah,
scary. It's scary.
The Kanye one just blew me away. There was the Kendrick one that was going viral.
Yeah,
Kanye one.
Timberland posted up on the Kanye,
and we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of AI. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like, we haven't even begun, bro, because on the music side, this shit is not even. It's not even getting. It hasn't even gotten started yet, bro. Because what I'm hearing with these, like, I heard even David Guetta, he played like an Eminem intro of one of his songs, and it was like him at like one of these humongous festivals, and it's like hundreds of thousands of people, and he played this.
That's right. Yeah, we mentioned that.
He did it messing around, and he had an Eminem vocal, and the people thought it was really Eminem. They're like, yo, he got a record with Eminem. They're going crazy in the crowd. And it was AI.
There's got to be some laws or something that they're going to put into place eventually.
So this is where I'm nervous about AI, right? So definitely there's laws. There's got to be some type of infringement stuff that's going to happen. But I was reading some stuff the other day, and this person was saying, because it was like, yo, how do they generate this stuff, right? Like, how do they generate these melodies and these songs? You know, there's the full song generators and music generators and graphic generators and like the shit that writes resumes and all that. This stuff, this is actually taking inserts from different places on the web.
Right.
It's not like all this shit is just generating original content. Something is gonna get used that's gonna stir up the whole copyright infringement shit on this AI, because this shit is drawing from already pre-existing things, right?
There's only
Apparently,
so many
artists have seen
combinations.
bits and pieces of their work in other AI generated.
Of course, especially like graphic artists and like actual artists. There's like, you go to a logo generator. This shit is giving you logos from all kind of other different that belong to other people. You know what I'm saying? And they're just turning it around and putting your damn company name on it. And you think like, yo, my shit looking like a souped up Amazon logo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And getting a huge lawsuit. So I've yet to see any lawsuit situations come up yet with the app, and I'm sure it's gonna happen when people catch on. But I heard that there's a label out there who has like a bunch of records that are all AI generated on Billboard. Like, yeah, I was reading somewhere there's over 100 songs on the Billboard chart that are AI generated.
Oh man.
Yeah, completely. So
it's moving fast too. Like every day it seems.
Bro, it's interesting.
I always said that I'm not worried because it's only gonna move as fast as we move. You're gonna, it's gonna run out of fuel quickly until we keep inputting stuff into
it. I just is gonna put a whole lot of people out of business.
I don't know, part of the artificial intelligence, it's where that's focusing, if it's focusing that on the being original, you know what I mean? And just gathering all this stuff from the past, all this stuff, and using its AI intelligence to be completely original, then, it's kind of hard to beat that, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's going to have its benefits, and it's going to get a lot of people in trouble as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's also going to have its benefits. Imagine someone trying to set you up because of a phone call, and you could just be like, yo, that shit was AI, man. That wasn't me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So many loopholes.
Yeah, the deep fakes are crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, like all that stuff with like Joe Biden and like I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, how are they doing this shit, bro? Like the Kanye shit, when I heard him, the shit Timbaland posted where he was singing, there was today was a good day, just waking up in the morning. I was like, wow, this one sounds just like him. I was like, I actually enjoyed listening to it. I was like, yo, Kanye should really do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I miss the old Kanye.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's getting crazy, man. Like people are taking their ex-girlfriends' like faces and putting them on pornos and then sending it to their parents.
No. Wow.
It's getting deep, and now Adobe has all the voice stuff, so you can feed it someone's voice, and then you can use a program to make it say whatever you want. So the deep fakes that are coming in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, so many people are going to get in trouble.
Nah, it's going to be scary, bro.
Yeah.
Times ahead.
Of the Pope that went viral recently, that was AI generated because he was in a big like bubble jacket. And
I've seen that.
Saw that? Yeah, it went viral, and it was.
Hold
AI
on, that wasn't real.
Not real, no. It's AI.
See, this is what's gonna happen. That wasn't real. This is exactly what's coming.
You don't know what's real and what's not, bro. Shit is crazy.
Yeah. It's gonna be a daily thing.
Somebody sent me a music generator the other day, right? And I was like, man, I was just messing around. I did this shit on my phone. So I put in, you can upload a reference. So I uploaded, I had like in my phone, I had this dope melody. Like it was like sick, like strings and shit. So I uploaded onto here as a reference. And then it says, how many versions would you like to create? So I put, I just do like 5 versions. And then what's the length of each version? I put 3 minutes. And then what's the key? Put a key in there. And then first thing it did was it analyzed the reference that I put in there, right? And then it concluded that it falls into the category of Chinese ensemble.
Amazing.
I was like, Chinese ensemble, okay. And then this shit generated 5 versions with change ups. I'm talking breakdowns, the whole 9 yards off of this reference. And I was like, oh shit, this shit is crazy. And each of them had little sections that I was like, oh, this is a good dope little section right here. But the fact that it generated that, I'm like, yo, this is like some background music for whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So you fed it a reference track.
I had a melody, a straight melody, right? That I had in my phone that we made, and it analyzed it as a Chinese ensemble, and then it created. I told it to create. You could have told it to create as many versions as you want. I put the key and I told it 5 versions, and it created 5 different versions of that ensemble.
What program was that?
It was hold on, let me see if I have it in my phone.
Hold on. I think I've heard of this too, man.
We're doing the AI episode on mixing night on Wednesday. So
what it gave you back, was it quality enough where you could take one of those and use it for something?
Now check this shit out. This is where it gets even crazier. It has the stems for your ass.
Oh wow.
If you want it broken down, just click on Mixer and you can just bounce each part individually. How about that? Drums, fucking strings. It's called I got a crew of nerds online that just send me all the cool. Okay, it goes Ivy. It's creators.aiva.ai.
Oh, I've used that. Avia. Yeah. I know what that is. That must have gotten a lot better because I tried that out like 2 years ago near the beginning.
Oh no. Recently, I mean,
it was.
You just got it once. I think once you dial in a cool sound, then you just keep generating it. You know what I'm saying? Regenerating it. But there was some that were off of a reference that I put in here, and it had some special elements. You know what I'm saying? In it, I was like, hold on, this thing is. I mean, bro, this shit is just generating the music. Like this
to help with ideas too. Like just.
Yeah, forget getting MIDI, chords or whatever online.
Nah,
you don't even need
the
that
whole thing.
dude.
Yeah.
I did a production for a girl 2 weeks ago, and she was sitting here and wanted to change the lyric of the bridge, and she literally pulled up Chat GPT to do it.
Yeah.
So she said she's no good with lyric ideas, and the writer wasn't here. She just went to, and she's like 19 years old. Like she just Chat GPT lyrics.
Bro, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I was talking to a producer the other day, and he was like, "Yo, I'm making some beats for Drake, but I'm gonna AI myself as Drake and put it through AI, and then I'm gonna put these shits online like new Drake records." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, and let people start like, "Yo, there's a new Drake record out, blah blah blah." You know what I mean? Or a new whatever the artist is, whatever big artist. Because if it sounds good enough and it's believable, people are gonna think it's real. Most of the people aren't up on the technology like that, right? Your regular consumers, you got to be really like into tech and really like, sort of like somebody that's into tech to really know about AI and to be able to know what it's capable of, right? Most people don't know. So if they're hearing a damn reference of an artist, a song, they're not thinking this shit is some AI generated stuff. They're like, yo, this is a great song.
Dude, can you imagine like soon people are gonna be like, hey, did you hear my new Drake album?
I'm trying to tell you, bro, this shit is crazy.
That's what we're on track for, man.
Tell you, shit is crazy, bro. That's what scares me a lot because it's like
your own personalized Drake album written with lyrics from ChatGPT.
Exactly. The only thing that's gonna give it make you say, hold on, this is kind of, the lyrics are kind of whack. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually these guys come up with clever shit, right?
Right.
So
Right.
These
AI will just
programs
train
think they're
better and
not.
better.
These guys are they're mega stars for a reason, right? Because they come up with amazing punchlines and all this shit. You're gonna know, like, yo, this can't be Lil Wayne.
Right.
These punchlines sound like some bootleg shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna
I
get
was
the
also telling
vibe.
them, I was also telling them that the audio kind of sounds a little choppy too, almost like an extracted acapella. It's not, it sounds really good, but when you're talking about, timing and flow and groove, like you were talking about earlier, that's kind of one of those things that's unmatchable.
Imagine what it's going to
At
be
least,
in a year.
at least so far.
Right. Yeah. It's just good. It's just moving so fast, man. But it's very interesting to see. Ken, that
Yeah.
thing to check out too, man. Like, go back to that website and see if they updated it recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out because, like I said, about 2 years ago, I checked out that AI music generation because I was like, all right, where are they at with the tech? And it was fascinating, but it wasn't record usable yet. But AI trains itself so fast on data sets and improves so quickly over time that it doesn't surprise me at all that it has advanced that far that you're using it in those ways. I mean, I think the music creators, just like the illustrators, are going to be helped and hurt at the same time.
Man, look, I was at a company. I was at in Switzerland a couple months ago for the World Economic Forum, right? We did an event out there, and I sat in for one of these tech conversations, these tech panels, and there was a company out there who had they're big with the whole with the whole global warming and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Climate
all
change.
climate change and all that stuff. They had a bunch of cool stuff going on, and they were discussing. They have their own AI generated. It's like a chat GBT, but their shit is like climate change and like world change and a bunch of different things. And they said that they just implemented their CEO is now 100% AI. Yes. Yes.
Dang.
Their chief executive officer is a computer, and you go in there and have full conversations with this motherfucker. And
Some iRobot stuff.
That's an episode of Black Mirror. Fuck.
He's completely AI. They are the first company, and this is not like a small company. They're the first company to have an AI generated chairman.
I think I read about this. So crazy. That's so crazy.
And they're all the business that's going on with this company and all the new high-end, high-tech, next cutting edge shit that they're doing is this damn thing generating all of it.
I wonder if it's fired anyone yet.
And how do you fire it? That's where we draw that fine line.
Unplug them.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
He's
this-
online though. Or,
They were-
like,
Let me see if I got the name of that company right there. Hold on.
what if that guy just like
it down.
fires everybody that can fire him? Like he just goes in and deletes their
Everybody who knows where the kill switch is suddenly disappears.
What
they
happens?
lose access. Their key cards don't work or whatever.
Right.
So, y'all seen Eagle Eye? Come on, Shia LaBeouf.
So this is all like why, like, if you Google Elon Musk and AI, he's got all kinds of articles like he and experts call for a pause on technology and
Oh, that
AI
came out
development. And
So look up this thing
so
called.
they can catch up. Sure.
Look up this thing. Look up this thing called this AI called Zeek ZEEK.ai. So this is supposed to be like a chat GBT, but like next level.
Zeek.ai.
There it is. It's like 4 down on Google. Hi, I'm Zinc, the emergent intelligence from Hub Culture. Artist collaboration.
But we definitely got to be on, man, because this is the future. You know what I'm saying? This is the future. In so many ways.
Gotta know what's coming down the pike. And it's
music
coming
is
so
a moving
fast.
target. Music is a moving target. It's just keeping up with the tools, keeping up with the trends, staying ahead of the curve.
I mean, shit. Look at how much something like Splice changed the industry.
Right.
Yep.
And,
Do you use
you
Spice
know,
at all?
You know what? I used it one time at a studio, and I loved it because it's like you have all these different sounds and soft synths and stuff right on your computer. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love that that technology is out there and available. You know what I mean? I just my only beef with that I didn't reason I didn't dive into it like that is because I kept hearing like a lot of people using some of the same presets. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
And it was like, yo, there's millions of motherfuckers on here using the same fucking
Oh,
guitar.
definitely.
Little.
Crazy.
So I started hearing a lot of the same stuff, and it kind of made me a little nervous because I'm like, yo, last thing you want is you working with a big artist and you use one of these splice things, and then the musicologists, these ultra musical geeks at the labels that they
Yeah.
hired.
Tell them about the musicologists, man.
The musicologists, they're like, they hear your shit and they're just looking for something that you stole from somebody. Like they're like, that has a melody from fucking Chico Barge, or that has a melody from fucking Hall and Oates. This song right here. So their job is to break down your shit to make sure that you didn't steal no samples from someone. And
They crazy too, right? They get like
yeah, so what happens is normally when what I've been noticing, even though we haven't ran across this, but I noticed that a lot of times the musicologist will detect something that might be on Splice, that might be sampled, that might be royalty free. But if somebody released it, they have the copyright to it. You know what I'm saying? They have the copyright to that particular melody at that point, right? Yeah, so it becomes a whole issue that the labels have really cracked down and gotten tough on. Like now you got to fill out like 2, 3 forms. Like, okay, if you use the sample, what sample pack, what's the name, where was it downloaded from, who were the composers that used it? Like it's becoming, depending on who it is, it's becoming more of a pain in the ass to use these samples from sample packs than actual or old records. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Old
I mean, I
records.
know people sending out sample packs just to try and get that placement or get that loop in there to get that co-write or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Bro, look,
there's
I'm not
sample
gonna lie
packs
to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the sample pack culture. I love it. Like I love the convenience. So I love the convenience of the sample composers and creators, right? Because it's like I ain't gonna lie to you. I get so many samples every day. I got an email strictly set up, and I get them. All the composers send me the samples, and but you have to be very upfront with a lot of these guys and be like, look, you have to pre-negotiate. I tell all the guys that they got to pre-negotiate your splits ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? And you got to figure out what it is that they're looking for, because like if a lot of these guys, they're like, oh, we want half of the producer fee, we want half of the publishing.
Yeah.
Okay, we were like, okay, cool. But why the hell I'm gonna use your shit? I might as well just go and sample somebody else's shit, and I have to give them half of my producer fee. You know what I'm saying? If I'm charging the label 50 bands for a beat, and you want 25 of that because I use your sample, nah, I'm not fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have
Literally put yourself out.
you got to have a clear understanding before you dive into it, and you have to have a relationship with the actual sample creators, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a lucrative business. These guys are making great money. They're making the producer's job easier, right? Convenient. And it's all about everyone got to be on the same page. The common goal is to come up with a great record, right?
Right.
And everybody has to be a team player. And like the minute I see a producer, a sample creator, or because they're producers, they're producing these dope melodies. The minute I'm dealing with a guy and he's acting funny, I won't fuck with their loop, because I already know, like, if we get a placement with one of these kids' loops, it's gonna be a mission. You know what I'm saying? The minute it becomes a mission where they're attorneys and they're requesting all this, that, boom, boom, master this. I'm like, bro, you asking for shit that we can't even ask for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes, you know, it's easier to sample from an old record, bro. It's less headache. You're dealing with the publishers. The publishers are getting shit cleared. You know, if there's a master use, you know, give them their little $5,000 to use the master and keep it moving. A lot of times, you know, it really, like, thank God we haven't had any issues with you know, with when we deal with the producers who makes, you know, melodies. But there was one scenario where, you know, if we had a hard time getting a hold of their legal team because they were at another country. And, you know, it was one of those, you know, a lot in this game, you don't know whether, you know, you're going to have to get something done right away, meaning you might do a record tonight and yo, you might do a record tonight. Yo, we want to put it out Friday. So if our attorney can't get a hold of this guy's attorney because they're in freaking Switzerland or something and they're not responding back, then that could hurt a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And that you might have with a certain artist or whatever the case may be. So anytime it becomes too much of a hassle to deal with a composer, then we don't even fuck with them just because it's like, yo, it's just too much of a headache, bro. I'd rather just give this shit to my sample clearance guy or just send them some original shit ourselves that we'll do, because it's not worth the headache, bro. It's like, but
Yeah, there's so
I
many
think
people. There's so many people doing it the right way that if you're trying to like do that sideways stuff, you're just putting yourself off the list. You're not even
absolutely, absolutely, bro. You can get money, bro. Like my guys, some of the first dudes to be making melodies, Q Beats, right? And you know they're on so many projects. Why? Because not only are they super dope, they come up with dope shit, but they don't give you a hard time. You know what I'm saying? They don't give you a hard time. Like, yo, okay, boom, boom, boom. Like, when it's situations like that, I don't mind saying, yo, okay, we're going to bust everything down 50-50, right? Because we know what they bring to the table. They're consistently bringing heat, right? And they're on so many projects that their sound is very familiar to the masses, right? And it makes it easier when someone hears a beat or hears it like, oh, I love this. This is a vibe. Why? Because these dudes are creating a lot of the sound that's out there, right? So you have to deserve that, man. You have to deserve that 50-50. You know what I mean? You just can't come off the top, because you can have them samples sitting on those sample websites and, you know, 1,000 little dudes is using them and them shits ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But if the big boy comes, a Metro Boomin wants to use one of them, then you gotta be smart and you gotta play ball. You gotta play ball. You gotta be like, yo, whatever you want, bro. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the opportunity, and you always gonna have that relationship.
Yep.
You're building relationships at that stage, you know.
Or you got to. Some of these guys outprice themselves before they have any hits, any type of real looks. And it's like, one thing about this business is it's a small business. Like, everyone knows each other.
That's my motto. I always tell people that.
All the attorneys know each other. All the producers, they got a line on. They might not be talking every day, but everybody has a line on somebody. And all it takes is that one person that gave you a hard time or was difficult to deal with, and that shit gets around quick, bro. And it's too easy to go to your file where your samples are in the computer and just delete them shits. You know what I'm saying? Just before I even find a dope sample in here, let me not make a mistake and let's go through this folder and find a dope sample. Let me just delete it now. You know what I'm saying? To save myself the headache of having to deal with this jackass.
Right.
Man, I was watching a beat talk recently, and you were talking about some of these coming in, some of these samples, some of these beats, loops coming in already mixed. Is that common? Is that just some heat that you had coming in?
Well, see, the thing is, I strive on just telling my guys like, yo, we're in 2023. There should be no reason you got some weak sounding, rinky dink sounding drums and sounds, right? You got to have this shit as close as possible because at the end of the day, you set the tone for the end of the record. Your production sets the tone for when the artist records to it. They lay their vocals, they lay their, they go and spend a bag. If they get a feature, they go and put a feature on it. And you're dictating the direction of this beat is dictating the direction of this record because now the artist is finishing it up. They love it. They want to put it out. They might not have the opportunity to hit you up for files. That shit might get leaked. The DJ might get a hang of it. The producer might, the artist might be like, yo, man, let me play this shit on the radio. Well, let me play this shit in my car.
The ref should sound
I'm telling you, so you can't nowadays, you cannot afford to not have your shit ready to go if it needs to be ready to go. And you can literally, the artist could record a record, play it on his Instagram. Every blog picks it up. Now the label is like, yo, we need to put this out now because everybody's trying to find it on the streaming platforms. Twitter's going crazy. You think the artist is gonna sit around and wait? He's gonna send that shit right to the label. They're gonna master it, have your attorney get hit up, and that shit is going out. It ain't, sometimes you don't get the luxury. There's plenty releases that we've had that never got a chance to get mixed. You know what I'm saying? And them shits came out. But imagine you sent some weak shit out there. It might have even got the chance to get recorded from the first place. Like you can have the most dopest sounding musical beat, and then the young kid comes on with the FL and his shit is knocking the brakes off of your beat. They're gonna record to the other guy's shit. Simple as that. Right. So 2023, man, it should be no excuse why with programs like Slice and all these different platforms and all these different sample websites and all, like, Jesus, can you imagine if we had that shit when we were doing Fat Joe shit in New York back in the day? Like if we had access to all this shit.
Insane. Like I meant to. You still mess with the MPC? You still?
You know what? I still got it right here. I got the two. This is the original. This is what we did. Hit or Love It on. So I still have this the 2000.
Crazy.
I took it out of storage. I took the 2 and the 3 out because I wanted to do these the videos on IG where you load up the original and show them how, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna load up like a bunch of our old hits and load them up on the MPC. You know what I mean? So, but I can't find the damn cable for the damn
SCSI drive.
Hey, if somebody's out there, get a cable.
I can't find the power supply. I gotta order one from Amazon.
Got you. I'll tell you. Because I still have my MPC, I don't use it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I got a $20 power supply for my MPC on Amazon. They got a bunch of them. They're not a AKAI brand, but they'll stay like that model.
The iOmega. I'm talking about the iOmega zip drive.
The zip drive, yeah.
It came with that shit had its own little power supply.
Oh yeah.
If I gotta buy a whole new zip drive, I buy it. But I literally pulled all of our sound discs because I want to take, because on the 2000 it wasn't 2000 didn't use, I forgot the format it used. It wasn't Wave and it wasn't AIFF. It was some different formats. So when you load up the zip drives into the computer, it just recognized it doesn't load any actual drum sounds.
Got you, right.
The 3000 actually saved everything on the zip drive as waves.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So you can literally grab all the waves off of but yeah, I got mad shit I want to load up on the MPC. New York, bunch of records that I want to load up. And just,
Crazy.
you know, press play.
Nice.
That would be dope. I'd like to tune in for that.
Yes.
Who would be a versus that you'd want to see?
Damn, that's a good question. I think we were talking about it was some. Oh, we definitely would have liked to see a Dr. Dre versus like him against like I
Oh
don't
wow.
I don't even know who you would put Dr. Dre against. Everyone
Right.
was, at the time it was Dr. Dre versus Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Just because they have such immense catalogs, like their catalogs are so crazy.
Yeah.
But it's almost like who do you it's like who do you put him against? Like Quincy Jones? Like you can't because the eras are so different. But like you talking Eminem, like you talking fucking 50 Cent, you talking his album, you talking Snoop, you talking like it's like the catalog is too dangerous.
Right. And he's got a verse on almost every
Yeah,
project.
it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. So who else? I was thinking maybe doing like something with Kanye and maybe like because Kanye is another dangerous one because he has so many albums. You know what I'm saying? They were really, really, really amazing albums.
For sure.
But definitely I would love to see Dr. Dre and someone, Kanye and someone. Who else? I mean, I think this one with Diddy and Jermaine is gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? People underestimate Jermaine Dupri, but Jermaine,
That's
he had a lot of big records that motherfuckers don't know about.
Atlanta.
Like,
together.
Yep.
yeah.
What about producer versus?
Produce.
Who would you put in the octagon?
Let's see. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I love that the Just Blaze when the first one, the Just Blaze and Swiss one was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was like crazy because they got so much high power, high energy records, you know what I'm saying? But they need to do like a R&B producer one too. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just slinging some
Right.
R&B records. But on the hip hop side, you know, believe it or not, if it was just producer for producer on the hip hop side, like I think Kanye versus Dr. Dre, if it was just like them two, I think would be it would be a battle. You know what I'm saying? Because they both have a lot of albums. Have worked with a lot of artists, and it would just be like head to head combat. You know what I'm saying? Like nonstop.
Yep. And neither of them are necessarily East Coast or West Coast sound wise, you
Yeah, but
know. Of course,
they're both close when it comes to like, you know what I'm saying? Like time frame, like Drake, you know, all that early, you know, but you know, Dr. Dre's dangerous, bro, because he got all that NBA, NWA shit. Like the minute he starts playing some of that stuff, it's like, yo, like it's over. You know what I mean? Like,
is don't reach that far back and he don't have
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's like, you know, but I would love to see Busta, like everyone was talking Busta against Missy Elliott. Like, and I was like, yo, that would be
Wow.
that would be so dope because they both got so they're both so visual, you know what I mean? But we'll see. I mean, you know, the respect is always there, man. So they're like, you know, she respects him too much to go head to head, and he respects her too much to go head to head. But that would be dope, just because they were, you know, they were both so musically so animated and physically so animated. Their videos were always super dope and creative. And but yeah, I mean that's, you know, couple out there.
Who would we put in a versus for mixers?
Ooh. Mixers.
Damn.
You would I think like who would you put against? I mean, the scary thing is Dr. Dre could go right in that category too and smoke everything.
I
But
mean, Manny versus Serban would be, I think,
man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Manny versus Serban would be a sick fucking battle.
They're
That shit,
insane.
Yeah.
Supposed to be back and forth all day.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That dude Serban, he mixed one of our records, bro, and that fucking guy, he's serious. He mixed two of our records actually, and he's worth every dollar because he's not cheap.
Right.
All right.
He's worth every dollar, but definitely. What was the other? You know who would be crazy too? Was it Tom Lord-Alge, right?
Oh man,
Yeah.
Against like who? Because he did all that. He did so much
Tom
like
Lord-Alge against Chris Lord-Alge.
Yeah,
yeah, him and his brother. Hell yeah. I remember we had a small studio on South Beach where Tom had a studio. So this is the crazy shit. So it was called South Beach Studios. Who remembers that studio?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was right there on 11th inside this hotel. And I remember, I'll never forget, right? We had a small little room upstairs. And I remember the studio manager telling us that Tom came in there and did an 8-year lease and paid the whole 8 years up front.
Wow.
For the downstairs studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, paid a whole 8-year lease and came with the check. Like, here you go. How much is 8 years? Okay, here you go. Boom, boom, boom. Came down there, got the whole room ready, and he was doing all that Weezer, all that rock, punk, all that. I mean, this dude is serious. He's serious dude.
Wow.
Like
I
we
know
got
actually Femi.
He was probably number one mixer in the world at one point.
bro, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
This dude was redoing people's whole songs. Like, the reason he was charging motherfuckers, that was the first time I ever heard of an engineer charging $30,000 a mix per song.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they were paying this guy.
Wow.
And they were, but you bring him your song, and this guy was bringing in the drums were getting recut, guitars were getting recut, bass. I'm talking about your shit was coming out of there sounding like, yo.
Because recording is a huge part of the process. Like,
bro, the guy, if he hears something that is not right, he's just gonna get it all, redo it. But
love
like normally, you wouldn't trust that with just any engineer. But I mean, you talk about Tom Lord-Alge, like you talking when we walked into the studio, there was these paintings. They were like the size of this mirror, right? There was like 10 of these shits, and they had probably like 3x3 squares of album covers, and these all albums that this guy mixed, not one song. This was albums after album after album of, I'm talking some of the biggest of the biggest groups.
Albums
I was like, whoa. Like, I got to sit in with him. And see his process one time, and I was just sitting there like a fly on the wall because he was mixing something for somebody that we knew.
I heard he used like the Sony tape machine.
Yeah, he had literally they brought two of them things in there with 48 tracks. He linked them things. And bro, this guy was hitting people over the head for 30 and up. You couldn't go see this guy unless you had $30K per mix.
Oh my!
Wow!
Like, he was not even gonna entertain it.
I think he mixed Under the Table and Dreaming. I'm not sure. I think
I'm sure. We all have relationships with people that, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure he did a couple freebies for some people, but just know that these big groups, a lot of these big albums that you heard, that it's not. All that shit was recut. Like, he was recutting everything. Like, okay, let's redo the drums. Boom, boom, boom. Everything is mic'd up to his taste. Let's run the bass. The bass is going through his chain. Let's run the guitars. Stack them guitars. He was stacking guitars like 10 fucking guitars per side type shit. Like, next level. Like, this dude, like, if it's one engineer that says, yo, this guy, you getting what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? It's that guy. Like, the minute you hear your shit, coming out those NS10s, it sounds like it's on the radio.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
you get what you pay for, and that's why people are lining up. That's why these rock groups, he was a cheat code because they were coming up in there with their shit sounding like they cutting their shit like at their little garage studio, and he was taking that shit and turning that shit into some monster sounding production. You know what I'm saying? Nah, this guy's a legend, bro. This guy's a legend.
I mean, his brother too, Chris, right?
Yeah. And then Chris, you know, see, I don't know, I don't know too much about Chris. I know he's super dope, and I know he's mixed some fucking big. But I firsthand saw the guy Tom at the studio at South Beach Studios, and this dude, motherfuckers were lining up to pay that $30K per mix.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we need
SSL too, right? Cool. You guys have an SSL?
Yeah, we got a G plus 4000. Yep.
Nice.
love that.
Yeah, man.
Man, they need to come out with a Tom Lord-Alge plugin. More plugins with Tom, man.
Yeah.
If you were to come up with a plugin, what would you come up with?
I would come up with something that was really good at like I think even though now it's you're starting to see it a little more, but this whole music rebalancing thing is really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like the you know, the being able to isolate
RX10.
Yeah, but they still haven't there's some other ones that are better. There's some other ones out there that are better than that. I bought RX. I ain't gonna lie, I like Isotope, but because they were the first time I was introduced to that technology, and I went and bought it, and it's cool. But then there's some AI ones now. There's an AI one out there that some dude owns, and this shit tracks your IP, so it tells you like, hey, you've done enough
Download.
yeah, you've done enough downloads, you know, become a patron or a partner. I mean, or a member. So I literally today, because I was converting a bunch of like shit that I wanted to fuck with, and I'm like, I went and signed up to his little subscription. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. It's $5 a month. But this dude has the sick vocal / music rebalancing shit. Like so far he's got the best one sounding. The best sounding.
What is it?
Is that Neuromix or
No. I'm gonna tell you right now. So we literally mixed the record. We couldn't find the vocals for this song, right? We took the reference and we ran it through here, and we took the vocal, just ripped the vocals off and took the beat off. Right. And we mixed this shit with these vocals ripped off of this site. And it sounds fucking amazing.
Like a remix?
No. This is actually going on an album.
Oh.
So it's called...
Couldn't find the vocals, like they didn't have the vocals for the session. Right?
Yeah, we couldn't find the session. We couldn't find the session vocals, but you know, we want to still have the luxury of muting the beat and doing different breaks and different things on it. So it's called vocalremover.org. Okay. So this shit is the easiest site, bro. You literally browse, you put the file in, and you can save the instrumental, save the acapella. But then it has a karaoke function that you can create. It'll create karaoke versions. It has a picture where it tells you you can shift the pitch and gives you the key. It has a BPM finder. It has I think that's it. But and it has a splitter. It has a splitter too. So this one breaks down. Check it out. This one actually breaks down. I haven't tried this one yet, but it's all AI generated.
Right. Breaks out the music, either like the bass.
See, I didn't know this one. I didn't know this one did it, bro. But now that I know, I'm gonna start using it. So I just use this. I always use this if I want to create acapellas and get instrumentals. But we have literally ripped an acapella off of here and mixed it on a final record.
Insane.
Wow.
And the beat was super busy. Like it wasn't like, you know, one of those like nice little because you know the busier the music, the less that shit, the harder it is for this to do what it does. But he's got some shit going on with AI like that's crazy. But I'm like, yo, I'm signed up because I'm like, yo, I'm using this shit a lot now. Like, and it tracks your IP. Like, yo, you have enough downloads for at this
after a
IP.
while, he's like, "Hey, give me some money now.
Yeah,
It's
he
been a
got me for
minute."
the $5. I ain't gonna lie.
Donation.
Like, you know what? I pay more for other bullshit that I hardly use. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what?
Right.
At least I find myself going to this site. Like I popped shit popped up in my head, and I did it today. I was like, man, let me just do it while I'm here at the crib, and I did a mashup like a blend, right? I just did it just for shits and giggles to send it to some of my DJ friends, because I'm like, in this day and age, you don't know. You might send something to somebody and the shit might just go crazy, take off, become a TikTok hit or whatever the case may be. So I mixed fucking I took the Sade Sweetest Taboo, right? And then I ripped the acapella and the instrumental, and then I mixed it with fucking Burna Boy, last.
Okay.
And then I got his acapella over the Sade Taboo vibe.
Okay.
And then I got Sade comes in on the bridge singing out of nowhere with him. You know what I'm saying? So I made that shit like 2 seconds, and I was like, "Yo, this shit came out." I sent it to DJ D Nice, and I was like, "Yo, craziest thing." When I did it, I was like, I thought D Nice. You guys familiar with D Nice?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I'm like, I didn't have his number, so I hit my man up. I'm like, "Yo, you got a number on D Nice?" He was like, "Man, I've had this number for a while, but here." So I hit him up. "Yo, what up? It's Cool and Dre." He hits me right back. He's like, "Yo, what up?" I'm like, "Yo, I got a remix. I did this remix, and I thought of you." I was like, "Yo," I said, "You gotta have it because I know you play where the events that you're doing, you can mix this shit right into what you got going on." So I sent it to him, and he lost it. He's like, "Yo, this shit is crazy." He's like, "Can I play this?" I was like, "Bro, that's yours." You know what I mean? Like, do your thing. So, but it's like this program. And I thought I was gonna have to do some type of key adjustment. Them shits were they're in the same exact key, which I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." Because a lot of times when you shift those keys on the acapellas, you never get the exact vibe. This shit, it was last and Sade Sweetest Taboo are the same key.
Nice.
Was that by chance, or did the AI do that? Like,
no, that was by chance. I ain't gonna lie. When I thought of it, I was Sweetest Taboo came on at a restaurant, and I'm like, for some reason, Burna Boy shit popped in my head. I was like, last. I was like, yo, that Burna Boy shit will go dope on this. But I don't know if I'm singing it to the right key or whatever. But when I loaded them both up in FL, and I heard the why yo, I was like, oh shit, this shit is crazy. Nah, that shit is dope.
Wow.
So
FL's
you use FL?
FL's your main?
Yeah, FL's my main, bro. I think I'm big FL advocate just because I think it's the closest thing sonically to an MPC 3000. You know what I'm saying? I think you don't have to overwork yourself trying to make shit sound, trying to make the bottom end right. You know what I mean? A lot of times spend a lot of time adding a bunch of shit to compensate to give us that sound. I think an FL, just turn off that fruity limiter. Turn off that fruity limiter. Like if anybody from Image Line is in here, please deactivate that fruity limiter, man. That shit is a curse.
Right.
Curse.
So did you ever mess with the MPC software at all? Did you ever dive into that or not?
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If AKAI is listening, I need you guys to update the original MPC app. So AKAI, right? They made the first software that they made for the iPhones was an original MPC 2000. So when you open it up, it looks just like a 2000. Right? It has the workflow of a 2000. It was like, I'm talking, this shit was a 2000 on an iPhone.
On
Right?
the
That's crazy.
iPad, you mean?
On the go.
No, I have it on my iPhone too, and an iPad. But they came out with an MPC2 that lets you do a lot more stuff, but it looks completely different, right? It looks like it has all kind of extra shit. But
Right.
the simplicity of the first one is what made it like an original AKAI, right? Because you don't need all that shit. You don't need to be adding a million instruments. You wanna get to work right away, get your ideas out,
Right.
export them shits into a DAW and add music to it, right?
Right.
So what they did with the MPC2 is they made it to where you can do all that within there, and they changed the workflow completely. It became more of a DAW than a
Right.
drum machine, right?
Yeah. Oh man, you nailed it right there.
Yeah. So please, like, if like all they got to do is update it and make it to where you can, because the only way to add your drums to that particular MPC app is you got to connect your phone to the computer.
Right.
And then when your phone comes up on the computer, you can drag your sounds into the MPC folder, right?
Crazy.
Within iTunes. So you create like a playlist, and then you add your drums and shit on that playlist. And then you can access the folder through the app. So all they got to do is make it to where you can access your files
Right.
folder or a documents folder, and then you can import your samples and your stuff from there. But like right now, you can open it up and sample. If you load samples into your iTunes, you can load samples in there. And this shit is like, this shit is crazy. Like when it first came out, bro, I was doing beats on this shit on a treadmill at the gym. Like, I'm talking hard shit. Like this shit because they figured out the swing. That MPC swing is there. And what made the MPC dangerous was the sonics, the swing, and then so the sonics, the swing, and there was one more.
Workflow.
Yeah, the workflow was real fucking easy, right?
Okay.
So they all this shit is in that app. That shit was like $20, and they came up with part 2 and they neglected that one. But that one is the shit. Like the only reason
I'm gonna see him at NAMM next month.
bro,
I'm
I'm
gonna see him at
telling you,
NAMM.
tell them like, yo, I was
go
on the
tell
phone
him
with
what's up.
Cool, because they know us. They sent us
Yup.
like a Renaissance, like a limited edition, like they. But all they got to do is just update it. Just update that shit, make it to where you can access the files, and make some skins for it. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll promote. Like I will freaking make it a point to make a hit off of that shit, right? But and then they gotta fix one more thing on there. They gotta fix the conversion on it, because sonically it didn't hold up, right? Like it wasn't like the original.
Might have been converted.
Yeah. The MPC2. So all they got to do is grab the converters from the new software and put them on that old MPC, and then they're good, because it sounded real thin. So it gives you all the workflow, the swing of the original MPC, but it didn't give you that knock that the original one gave you. You know what I'm saying? But I found myself, when it came out, I found myself really fucking with this thing. Like, I'm talking about in the studio, like loading this shit up. People looking at me like I'm an alien. Like, yo, you're on your iPad making these shit? Like, I'm like, yo. But I did notice when it was going through them speakers,
it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same. Like, I'm like, I know this kick. This kick is a lot harder than this, right? And that's why I like FL so much, is because what you putting in there is what you getting out. And if you're putting something in there that's dangerous to them speakers, it's gonna be dangerous to them speakers when you bounce it. You know what I mean? It's not like they figured out wherever they got this guy in his little dungeon at Image Line that did the conversion.
Yeah. He's on to something.
No, he's this guy, he's special, because no one's been able to figure it out. Like, and then if you have FL if you have FL11 on a PC, it's the best sounding one. If you using that, there's a lot of producers that are still they won't upgrade to 20. The FL,
I know people rewiring that to Pro Tools.
I'm telling you, FL15, FL11 on a PC
Slapping.
is smacking it's smacking everybody. Like that shit is dangerous.
It's crazy.
But
Too.
20, but 20, it's like I compare it to the MPC 2000 and 2000 XL. They sound amazing. They give you that knock, but nothing knocks harder than that MPC 3000. That rocks. That was the last. That was the last one that Roger Lynn fucked with. Roger Lynn, he didn't. I don't. His name ain't on this. See, his name ain't on this AKAI 1000 or the X. But he signed off on that 3000, and that 3000 is vicious when it comes to basses, 808s, and drums and texture. The 3000 is FL11 on a PC, and the 2000 and the 2000 XL is FL20 on the Mac. You see a picture of Dr. Dre. He's next to a 3000 in the studio. This is not by coincidence.
3000 too. I remember you guys used to set it up all the time too.
Yeah, this is not a coincidence. Why? Because that shit is disrespectful. That shit is like.
Dude, does it swing different than the 2000 XL?
No, the swing is the same. It's just sonic.
Oh, okay.
Whatever they did with that command. See, the R3000, there was a guy in LA. I don't know if he's still doing shit, but this dude named Forat.
Forat, yeah.
Forat did ours.
Bruce.
So Bruce Forat. He put because the best sounding outputs on the MPCs were the left and right. The main output. Those shits had they were extra loud, so it gives you that extra headroom. So what he used to do was he used to take the main outputs and put them same converters on the 8 outputs in the back. So the whole shit had the same conversion, and then he would put like the zip drive in the front. Now I actually want to I seen it on eBay. They have the you can swip the drive and put a USB on that shit now.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can put a USB on it and actually put like a hard drive onto it.
I know the 4000 and the Renaissance they have USB.
Yeah, the 4000. So my opinion is the 4000 is like the 2 sonically. You know what I'm saying? Sonically, and then the Renaissance was really light, like really really transparent. You know what I'm saying? And then they came out with the 2500, I think, after that or something like that. Whatever the second one, the second digital one that they came out with, that one sounded a little better. You know what I'm saying? But I think that the very first computer-based Renaissance MPC was the conversion wasn't all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it lacked that meat on the bottom end. You know what I'm saying? But definitely that 3000 though.
Crazy.
Shit is serious.
Man.
Taking me back to tracking days.
Yep. Yes, sir. It's all about the work you put in, bro. You know what I mean? Like we have all this amazing technology, and it's amazing, but there's nothing like spending a little more time. And if you have the gear, run your shit through it. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes a difference. It makes a fucking like. I'll never forget Lil Wayne record, right? We did. I sent Fabian the files, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna mix it tonight," right? So then I get to the studio, and I'm like, "Man, you know what? We got this fucking board. Let me just run this shit through the board." Right? I mean, this is gonna be a big record on Wayne's album. He put fucking John Legend on it. Let's run this shit through the board. So I literally hooked up a damn MIDI interface, right? One of those little USB to MIDI in and out. Hooked that shit up to the computer. Had to have the computer hooked up to a MIDI interface. did all the configuration, and to where Pro Tools was triggering my laptop.
Right.
Now, mind you, I was in Logic. We did that beat in Logic at the time, which I like Logic. The new Logic, I think Apple figured it out with the new Logic. Like sonically,
Right.
the new Logic is official. So I'm printing through the computer, so I'm going through I forgot what interface I was using, but I only had 2 outs, left and right. So I'm literally going like old school way, like let me pan the snare to the left,
Right.
pan the kick to the right. These are mono sounds, so let me pan left and right, and then print beginning to end. Right.
Cool. Yo.
Got the whole beat printed out. It took like 4 hours. Right. I'm like, okay, I'm only doing this for Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing this shit for like, this shit was
Anybody.
Was a mission, right? So then I called Fabian before I did that. I was like, yo, don't, I'm gonna send you a different version. He was like, yo, I'm already fucking almost done with the mix. I'm like, yo, check your email. I just sent you, all you just swap the stems out. So he swaps them out. Like 30 minutes later, he calls me back. He's like, yo, what the fuck did you do? I'm like, what do you mean? Something wrong? He's like, bro, this shit sounds like a completely different, like this shit, I had to cut all my processing off. Like, this shit sounds complete. I don't have to, like, he's like, the same EQ that that broke up the last kick. I'm like, I was able to add almost the whole bass frequency on there. I was like, what? He was like, bro, I was like, what did you do? I was like, I printed that shit through the board. He was like, yo, cool. That shit is, he's like, bro, this shit sounds completely different. I was like, wow. So I get to the studio and he presses play on this shit and the whole room was shaking. I'm talking about this shit was like complete annihilation. Like it sounded so good, right? And I was talking to someone actually maybe 2 weeks ago about this same conversation. And they were like, before I could even say what record it was, they knew the song. There was a record on this Wayne album called Blase Blah that sounded better than every other record sonically when you play it in a system. And right. I was like, that's the record I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like it just so happened that we were talking about the same fucking record, this John Legend record. I was like, wow, bro. So just it does make a fucking difference. Like when you run this shit.
Did you EQ anything? Did you like you just
all I did was run it through the board, run it through that SSL. That layer of hardware and that compression that natural compression that shit adds, it just if you already have a good quality sound, it puts a force field around the sound to where you can process shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I can describe it. Like imagine putting a weak ass sound through there, not through the board, sending it direct. The minute you start compressing and you start adding mid, high mid, and low mid, and the sound starts to crack up and it gets distorted real quick. And you're like, oh shit, let me take some of these EQs off. What that shit does, it gives you that headroom that the SSL has, and it lets you drive those EQs. And it lets you really process it. Like puts steroids on the sound, like it gives it the highest resolution. You know what I'm saying? And then right. I bounced it. I think they were 48 K. You know what I'm saying? Right. 32-bit. And I was like, yo, when I got the call from Fabian, I knew it was serious. Cause he was like, yo, this shit sounds amazing. He's like, cause Matt, this is coming from a person who just mixed the regular stem version. Right. And then got a new version with the SSL process.
That's all there, right?
Yeah, that's all I needed to see, bro. That's all I needed to hear. Like in fact, I got, but this is, mind you, this is pre FL.
Right.
So, you know, I always wanted to get that, always strive for getting that extra, you know what I'm saying? That extra punch. And that shit, that's the only time I did it, because after that we switched over to, not too long after that we switched over to FL. And then, you know, FL, that shit. But I'm gonna try it though. You know what I'm saying? Like the next record that we have to turn in stems for, I'm gonna MIDI that shit up and run that shit right through that SSL same way. I mean, we have it, you know what I'm saying? Might as well put it to use.
Yeah.
Ken just got rid of his SSL. I know he's like, man.
I still haven't sold it, but
What you got, Ken? Which one?
I have a AWS 900 Plus.
Nice. Oh yeah,
That
that's
shit
shit.
sounds fucking amazing. God damn.
That's the shit. You got it connected? You got it hooked up, or it's all taken apart?
Not right now. Everything works. Everything passes signal. Everything. There's nothing that doesn't work on that board. It's immaculate.
No, but I'm saying, do you have it connected right now, or is it like broken down? Okay.
No, it's in a closet right now.
Got it.
I'm kind of moving more into Atmos for mixing, and
Yeah, that's where it's going, bro.
Atmos
That's where it's going.
Not
Everything, bro. The convenience is winning the battle of quality, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, even when you're mixing Atmos, you can tie in analog outboard, run through it, and just commit it before you print your mix, and you still get all that analog warmth and bring your stems back to life that were kind of compromised when you're mixing stereo. And you know, Atmos, there's just so much more headroom. You don't have to compromise those stems. So if you hear stems that were kind of mashed into the stereo field and, you know, cut here and boosted there, in Atmos, you can kind of undo all of those sacrifices and put it around you, and really,
wow,
man, that experience.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the future. I know all my engineer friends are all, you know, everybody. What it is Apple is if you coming in there with the Atmos, they give you some good real estate on the platform. So a lot of people are playing the Atmos game because
they feature your stereo.
Apple's putting you right in those Atmos playlists, and they put, you know, that's where it's going. Like even Mike Dean, I remember there was a discussion about it, and he was like, "Man, that shit is the worst shit ever." But that's where it's going, bro. He's got an
Atmos room. Heard a great Atmos.
No, I seen it the other day. He's like, you know, but you know, at the end of the day, bro, you could hate something. This is what makes this. You can't, in this game, you can't be stubborn. The minute you become a stubborn old Scrooge, you're finished, because, and that's on the production side, that's on the mixing side, that's on every aspect. Because if you're a producer, and you're stuck on your same old shit that you were using, you refuse to go and download the new sounds, the 808s, the distorted fucking toned up 808, or you know what I'm saying? If you and go fuck with these melody packs and fuck with these younger kids, and you don't want to get out of your little comfort zone with your old ass equipment, you're finished.
Yeah.
Finished. And it's the same thing with engineers. You might be like, yo, I hate this shit, but guess what? I'm gonna do it because this is the future. You know what I'm saying? You want to be in it for now, you want to be in it 10 years from now still. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want the music to X me out. I want to leave when I feel like leaving. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still having fun. So why the fuck am I gonna not move with the times, right? And be stubborn. Bro, you can't. In a couple years, bro, everyone's gotta have a Atmos setup. Your shit better be ready, because they're not gonna, the minute Spotify and all these motherfuckers start going with the Atmos and going with the different sound, it's done. Like the original traditional stereo mix is over.
Right. I think Spotify just started including Atmos playlists.
Yeah.
There it is. They the big ones. They the big boys. So the minute they go hard, they better come out with a damn. But you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna come up with an Atmos plugin, a damn AI Atmos plugin. You're gonna put that shit on your mix, and all them damn thousands of dollars you spent on all these expensive ass speakers and shit. That shit's gonna be like, damn.
It already exists for $600.
Send me the name of that. I need that.
It's I think it's called Neural Mix.
Neural mix. Let's see.
Neural up, maybe neural up mix, but it basically takes a stereo and it makes
Those
it
upmix plugins
Atmos
just sound like
compatible.
shit. Oh,
Yeah. But
I mean, it puts it in.
The
There's just a huge difference between putting something in Atmos and making it
of course,
sound great for the format. And those,
of course,
upmix
I'm just
plugins
saying that there is one.
yeah.
That's the first one, and they'll just
it
get
will
better.
get better and better and better, and eventually they'll crack the code and maybe solve it. But
Then we'll be on.
I mean,
right? Hopefully.
yeah, I think
obviously,
that, the Atmos holy grail, I think, is going to be one mixing in Atmos that folds down properly to stereo, and just that's going to be the thing. And I didn't think it was possible a year ago, but I know it's possible now. So
yeah, bro, they gotta trust me. They're gonna figure that shit out. They're gonna figure it out. Did you guys see one of my guys hit me up, and he literally hit me and like he was like, yo, the shit with waves that happened today.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Backpedaling.
I think what did it last 2 days?
No, not even like a day. Like
no,
they
it
were
was
like
today. They sent out a mass email.
the backlash from that subscription talk.
Oh yeah.
I mean, can you imagine people that spend 10,000 for these Mercury bundles and all
Dude,
this?
I have 3 Mercury bundles. 3.
Bro, can you imagine like, oh, now you can get everything for $250 a year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no,
I can't. Not only can you get it all for $250 a year, but you can't update your Mercury bundles anymore.
That's what that's how they were trying to freaking extort.
They were about to get a lot of earfuls at NAMM, and they backpedaled just in time.
Whoever came up with that idea, just know they told them, yo, go face the corner. Go take your ass right over there.
And right before NAMM, too.
Oh
yeah,
my
right before
God,
NAMM.
first of all, I was like, bro, that's crazy. That's disrespectful to everybody who paid money for these things. You're actually paying money when there's, and you're gonna like this subscription shit. Look, man, this is not Waves Plus. Like, this is not Paramount. This is not Apple TV. Like, these engineers pay a lot of money for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And if you do it, the people who did that are paying customers should be continue to be able to get their upgrades as if they would normally. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna figure out something that makes sense. But I was like, they're shutting down updates and all that. I'm like, yo, that's fucking.
No, they announced today that they're keeping their original model alongside their new subscription model. So they're just gonna keep the status quo.
It's a slap in the face to all the engineers that spent shit ton of money, bro, including me, including all you guys. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Decades worth of engineers.
Bro, come on.
Because what's the Mercury bundle going for right now?
I mean, it's
that's like 300.
$29.99.
How much, Nico?
$29.99. Just like every other plugin. No, I'm just.
And I have 3 of them.
Plugins are very affordable though, but like I know they sell the Mercury bundle too. I just don't know how much.
Too much.
Listen, I was saying that they did a really good job on keeping that perpetual license thing going. So while everybody had already moved to subscriptions, they were killing it with that $29 plugin. They were killing it. So it's like it's a win-win for them, in my opinion. Like they get
they've been around.
They weren't gonna. Yeah.
That's the thing with Waves. They're like one of the OG companies, So.
Yeah, that's why when people starting like really going bad on them, I'm like, yo, they gotta pull the plug on this shit because you're in this day and age, bro. People change shit like they change their clothes, bro. They have no problem swapping over to UAD, you know what I'm saying? Like other platform and be like, yo, nah, you're not gonna do this to me after all this money and time I spent, and then you're not giving me updates. Like, y'all crazy, like come on.
And now UAD's got that Spark, so they've got you don't even have to pay hundreds to get UAD stuff anymore.
They have what now?
UAD Spark. So it's kind of like their maybe AAX versions, but it's like a subscription based or I don't know.
Oh, really nice.
They don't have all their plugins available on it, but some of the dope ones they do.
And you have to have the hardware.
Right. You don't need the hardware. Like you don't
No
need.
Right. That's the
way.
thing. Yeah. Spark, you don't need the hardware. That was the catch on.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because you know, a
D and
lot of
D
times,
shit.
but you if you're on a plane or a long drive, bro, hooking up the damn Apollo or that other thing, you know, it
Exactly.
could become a little pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
I heard if you already own those plugins from UAD, that you get them on Spark.
Yeah,
So
you do.
I appreciate
Very
them
cool.
for that.
And what?
Yeah, I mean,
Grand.
I just don't want 20 subscriptions from everything from the TV shit to my plugins, and then like, because I have like 1,000 plugins.
Look,
I just don't want all of those subscriptions. You know,
they're trying to take everything into subscription. Like even like living, like eventually, like it's just gonna be
I know,
subscription.
like
Yeah.
subscribe to
Auto
Breathe.
tune pretty much forced everybody into subscription land now too.
I'm looking up this Spark shit right now. Let me see.
Yeah, the Spark shit is dope. They finally added some of my favorites to that, like the Pultec Pro Legacy. I think
Yeah,
they
they got all the shit that you need.
yeah, it's a dope collection.
You gotta have Big Sur and up. I think if you don't have Big Sur, it won't work.
Oh, hold on. My
Yeah,
shit is
and-
lit.
Right
Oh, no,
when
that's-
right when they dropped the M1, M2, silicon updates for all the plugin, all these manufacturers are kind of like, making that push to get silicon support, and definitely not a good look for waves and that
You saw that
update situation.
update with you can toggle back and forth now between Silicon and Rosetta.
Yep.
Pretty
That's
interesting.
this shit is 150 a year, bro. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, man.
Is that Spark?
$19.99 a month. It's not bad. And they're gonna add more plugins too. They're probably gonna eventually add like the whole damn collection, but they got a lot of shit on here already.
One thing
That's
I
the
do,
Spark.
they do have some rent to owns. Like I've owned Ozone 9 and Ozone 8 through Splice. You know what I'm saying? Just by it's like a
I-
subscription.
I think the next plugin that we put out on Mixing Night Audio is we're gonna do rent to own and purchase through Splice.
It's super smart, I think, man. Because
I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the rent to own thing is great. You pay a few bucks and you see if you love it, and if you do,
Yep.
you keep paying for it, and if you don't, then
before you
That's
know
it.
it, you know.
It's almost like a punch card. Like the more you go there and use it,
Right.
you eventually get one free.
For sure.
Yeah, they gotta think of all different. I'll be like, yo, does this shit come with a free sub? And shit.
And
Nah,
a
this shit
cookie.
is cool though.
Where's my cookie?
So the fact that this shit doesn't need the hardware, I like it a lot. Because I have like all the plugins, all of the UAD
we do
shit.
too.
Yeah, but it's I guess it's
It's ridiculous.
through a buddy of mine who's a dealer. You know what I'm saying? And I got
Right.
like
The NFR.
the preloaded shit. So my shit is loaded up, but you got like in order to use them, you got to have the hardware. You know what I'm saying?
Hardware,
yeah.
and it's authorized to that hardware unit, so you can't.
Bro, you just
Exactly.
sometimes if you want to go, you want to go, bro. You want to be able to mix some shit, open a mix up without having to pull all your cables and all your shit out. Sometimes you got to send a mix out, or so you want to bounce something down real quick. Shit is fucking. It's worth $20. This is worth the $20 a month.
I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
Biggest move Pro Tools Avid did was making that switch, because remember you couldn't run Pro Tools without an M box hooked up,
Yep.
or
I'm never gonna forget, man, when back in the day when these hackers cracked the code, and it was like open Pro Tools, open plugins, everything was. I was like, yo, what is going? It was like, this is crazy. The first time you were able to, what inspired that was these hackers, because they made it to where you didn't need hardware.
For sure.
Up to when that Pro Tools got cracked, how long years ago, you had to have the M box, you had to have some type of hardware.
Absolutely.
And when they did that, I'll never forget that shit. I opened that shit on my laptop, and nothing was connected and it was coming through the headphones. I was like, oh, it's over. Like they fucking this shit is over. Like they figured it out. They cracked the fucking matrix. You know what I'm saying? Like
Average
and-
probably guys like
And you know, of course, you had to deal with the BS of all your shit crashing every now and then, but motherfuckers didn't care. They just make sure you're saving as you go. Save as you go. Save as
like Tourette's.
I mean, just like this waves thing, you know, the technology also follows the needs of the producers, the consumers, us, the music makers. You know, it's like, so at the end of the day, keep getting together like we do here and tell them what you need. You know.
So the cool thing is that we Avid sponsored our studio, and they with that it's the what is the name of the
Matrix, Pro Tools Matrix?
No, it's the other one. The one that's like a producer based. Hold on a second.
Studio.
Avid, I'm gonna tell you the name of it right now. Hold on. Make sure when you edit this shit, you go right to the name, please. So it's called Avid.
Carbon.
There it goes. So they set up a Carbon in our studio. We had an Apollo, a 16, one of them new shits, and we set this Carbon up. This fucking Carbon is serious.
Serious, right? I've heard things about.
Yeah, I want to get the Carbon so I can do Atmos. That's the those things. Yeah,
this Carbon. So you got to connect it Ethernet.
Okay.
Dante.
Yeah, you go Ethernet into the back of we had to get an adapter because we got the trash cans that come with the Thunderbolt. So we Thunderbolt the Ethernet. And there's no more of that setting up the buffer and fucking with the auto-tune latency or
what?
Fucking with the buffer size shit. This shit is straight shot.
Right.
Bro, imagine putting that together with a new M2 laptop. I think that's what I'm about to build right there. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So they originally, that Carbon was supposed to be like, I was supposed to be keeping that shit, but of course I was like, put it at the studio because we're gonna use it here every day, right? But it's more producer friendly. You know what I'm saying? It has like 4 headphone outs on the front.
Yep.
It has like, bro, when I tell y'all this shit, I haven't heard someone say, "Hey man, can you fuck with the buffer size, the latency?" That's like a killer. That's a killer.
Right.
That latency shit, if you're an artist, singer, songwriter, whatever, that shit will fuck up a whole session.
I also believe with this interface, you can do the hybrid engine, Pro Tools. And
Correct.
I think that's use some of the DSP.
So what I'm thinking is, because now we're not using UADs because we don't have an Apollo connected. We're gonna get a satellite. But now with this Spark thing, we can use UAD plugins with our Carbon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just don't have every plugin available for it yet,
but
they're working on it.
Yeah, they have the main shit. I'm looking at the list. Just this list right here that I'm seeing right here. I'm like, I use the main shit that I use. I use the Teletronic shit a lot on vocals. I use the 442. I use this. What is this? Oh, they have the 1073s in here. That's fucking between. Do they have the SSL on here? Hold on.
They should.
They even have sounds. This shit even comes with pianos, Moogs. It has the Grand. It has the Mini Moog, Waterfall. It has the synthesizers. I don't see the SSL on here. That might be, but
they're working on it though, I think.
Oh yeah, by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if they
Once they get that, then you're good to go.
Have any of you guys used the new SSL plugins that SSL is doing?
I've seen that. I haven't seen that. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I love those.
Fucking good, man.
They're good?
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna love them.
I mean, they nailed their modeling for sure.
Is that the native ones?
Yeah.
Basically,
I went from
online and they look cool as shit. So you're saying they sound good, Ken?
they sound super dialed in. Even like I just picked up the saturator, and the saturator I was like, all right.
All right, so I gotta get them. I gotta fuck with them.
They're fucking dope.
So they just pop up as a regular plugin, right? And
standalone. And the way I use them, I put a channel strip on every channel, and I've got the SSL controllers and the channel strip controller right in front of me, and it feels like being on a large desk again.
Nice. You seen F8, the F8 channel, the controller, the SSL?
Yeah,
they got
let me see that shit, Ken. Let me see. Oh, hold on, move it closer to your mic.
So I got two of these.
Oh, they're connected, they're cabled up. No, it's all good.
Yeah. I got two of these.
Nice.
And it feels like SSL faders and pan.
Who makes those?
SSL.
Oh,
Solid state Logic.
And they've got a whole bunch of like control options on the top buttons for, like transport and recording and shit like that. But then you control the plugins with the UC1.
Check it out, cool.
Check that out, cool. That's
do that one more time, Ken.
Oh shit. That shit is like a big ass that shit is like a DJ mixer, bro.
Well, it's like, so it's an SSL channel, just like you're used to on your 4000.
Yes.
And one side is the EQ section, and the other side is the compressor section. In the middle is
I'm looking at it right now.
bus.
This is it right here, right? Hold on.
But what they do is they,
right?
So yeah, well that's the bus compressor.
Wow.
Yeah. So they overlay an SSL digital console on top of your Pro Tools, and you don't even have to look at Pro Tools if you don't need to. It's fucking wild.
Bro,
and the shit feels like you're turning knobs on.
So this is basically the middle section of your SSL. So you can connect your speakers and everything to it.
Yes. No, it doesn't. It's not like a speaker controller. It's
so it's not a controller. It's not a controller. Oh shit! The desk has the EQs on it and everything.
Dude,
right.
It's bananas. Yeah. The controller only controls the channel strip and the bus compressor, which you would think would be crazy to put a controller in front of you to control two plugins. But the way that they use it functionally, if you're used to working on an analog console, it feels immediately.
Oh no, this is they finally got in the game.
Yeah. It took them a long time.
It took them a long time.
I understand why they waited. Yeah.
They finally got in the fucking game, man.
Yeah, everybody else modeled their shit for years, and now I don't think anybody even cares that they're out.
Every time, everyone was trying to get that feel.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit is amazing. I got these dudes sent me this shit. This is actually, I love using this thing. It's these dudes out of London. They made this shit and they hit me up on IG and they sent me this shit. Check this shit out.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It has on the sides. Look at this thing. It's fucking cool. And
I got one of the Rock Solid Audio.
Rock Solid Audio.
That thing's awesome. It'll do 4 different brands of SSL plugins.
Yeah, and if you call them up, they'll troubleshoot and they'll configure like anyone. Like this new one, they'll probably configure it right away to it. But this is like, it's nothing like. And this is what I miss is it's a difference when you're EQing a vocal and you're using a mouse, right?
Totally.
When you're using this knob, you can dial in that frequency quick. Your hand automatically, because you're looking at the buttons, but you're moving. Your hand is doing all the frequency changes.
And like you own an SSL, so you already know muscle memory. Eventually, you learn your EQ positions, and you don't have to look at that shit. You can close your eyes.
I'm not even looking at it. I'm hearing. I'm going through it. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing the vocal how I want to hear it. You can't do it. It would take you so much longer to do a shit on the mouse because you're like going back and forth.
You can't close your eyes and EQ with a mouse.
Exactly. And this shit gives you that ability. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, I hear that frequency, boom, boom, and I take this back a little bit, boom, there it is.
Yeah. That's what that instantaneous tactile response, the way an analog EQ gives you is so money.
How much was that? How much was it? I'm trying to find the price of this shit. I gotta call my
like $1,000 or so.
Yeah, it's like $890. It's like $800 for the
Oh shit! This shit is $7.99, bro. This shit is fucking amazing, bro.
And the UF8 fader packs, I think they're a little bit over $1,000 each. But it feels like I'm back on a console again. It feels like pushing faders and hitting mute buttons. Like for me, I need a controller with serious mute buttons because when I comp vocals, I still do it on faders. And
Easy.
I'm trying to find the faders here now because the faders, them shits have the little frequencies on them, so it already gives you the same shit that this little thing does. It's already doing that shit. Already does it. Hold on,
yeah, it gives you metering and it'll give you certain display functions on it as well. And then
what's that called now?
UF8, I think.
UFC 8 and UFC 1.
UF8.
Oh, the 8. Yeah, the 8 is the faders and the 1 is the center.
It's like 1,250
for the faders.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad if you get like 2 faders and one middle controller. Yeah.
I want 2 more of the UF8 so it wraps around like a fucking starship.
Nice. Nice.
Feel like being on a console again. I'm like, for an extra like $2,500, I could feel even more like I'm in a starship working on a console. That sounds like money well spent.
Is it USB?
Okay. Is it UFC or UF?
It's UC1 and UF8.
Oh, UF8. I put UFC. I'm like, this shit, a fucking wrestler came
out. Shit. That's my bad.
No. UF8.
I think that's what it is.
I'll hold on the who's your favorite wrestler question this time.
Let's see. So I see one here that's the UF8, but this one doesn't have the EQ strip.
Right.
That's the one. That's the other one.
The UC1 is the plug-in controller. The UF8s are the faders.
So you put the channel strip one in the center, and you put the fader packs on the side.
Yeah, channel strip.
Okay, got it. Okay. Now, so I put the one that looks like a controller in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That has all the attacks and all that. Okay, I see it.
Yeah. Did any of you guys ever mix on like a Neve Capricorn or a Sony Oxford or like the SSL Axiom or any shit like that?
Yeah, there's a place in Miami that has a Capricorn.
Yeah, it's kind of the same concept as like everything's spread out. You just bring everything straight to you, and and you can reach out and move multiple things at one time, just like old times. It's really
welcome to the fucking party.
So much faster than a mouse, and so much more creative than a mouse.
I really want to think our motto for this show is pull out your notebooks and your wallets. It's gonna be one hell of a ride.
Every show I go broke.
You guys
absolutely.
Big 6 SSL analog mixer yet? I keep hearing good things about it.
What's this?
The Big Six.
Don't know what that is.
It's an SSL product. It's what is it? It's an interface, but it's also an analog mixer, I think, right?
Yep. 18 input analog recording console. It's a console. I think it even has the SSL compressor on it, the G-Bus compressor.
But it also is a converter. It's a multi-channel converter.
Oh shit, that's interesting.
I think. Yeah.
I mean, I think just about everything has USB on it now. Even their 2-channel smallest interface, it sounds amazing.
Which one is that?
They're coming out really good.
The
SSL.
This guy.
Oh yeah, my one of my buddies has the simple one. That shit is like $150, bro. That shit fucking sounds amazing.
That one.
There you go.
Yep.
We got one on our B rig.
There you go.
Amazing.
There you go. That shit looks cool and it sounds great.
Yeah.
Right.
Since I'm not endorsed by UAD, I'll tell you it sounds better than an Apollo.
Word?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And it has 2 mic pre's. Yeah.
What's the great one button? Does it have like a retro button on it?
Oh, so the other one, which I have over here, has 2 4K buttons, and it's supposed to make the mic pre's like the 4K. And it's got 2 headphone outputs, but yeah, like This one is 180. That one's like 220. And that one also adds MIDI. So I'm actually using that for my Burkowski as a MIDI interface thing.
Oh,
and it also
Nice.
plays back my internet audio through the Asperger's. So if I go to like, Spotify or something on my computer, it plays through that little SSL into my monitor controller. So
Have
but
you
they're
guys
great, man.
have you guys tried out the new inbox?
I didn't know they had one.
Cool.
So I just found out that they got the new one. They got the new inbox. I just looked. I didn't know if it was out already, but I'm here on on Sweetwater, and it's here. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. New inbox. Yep.
I
Oh
like
snap!
Has anybody ever been to Sweetwater headquarters?
Yes. Place is
I
unreal.
was-
Have you been there?
Yeah, I was just there last weekend attending a master class that Mike Miller was doing on Atmos, and the dude's a fucking mad scientist, man. He's brilliant.
I think everybody
but-
should go there once in their life. It's
Where-
pretty amazing.
Was the store there when you went there? Because they have a full
Yeah.
music store. Oh, I've never seen
got
anything
like
like it.
a
That
mini
Right.
guitar center. They got a performance hall.
nuts.
They have a cafeteria with no workers. You just walk through, take your food, and check yourself out. They have they have
They
three
have like
studios.
a clinic. They have 3
Yeah.
studios. They have a hair salon. It's like a
They have
little mini
yeah.
town. They have 2,600 employees on site in Fort Wayne, Indiana, of all places.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable operation there, but crazy. But yeah, this master class was really insane.
I had to do a presentation there at like 6 a.m. because they make so much money per hour, they can't have their employees off the clock during business hours. So we had to get up like super early to do this microphone presentation for
wow.
Lou at Mike's.
That's how much orders
It's
they be
like-
have coming in online?
Yep,
That's
worldwide. And they're 24 hours because they work for overseas countries too, So
Yeah, and I think they have something like 600 sales engineers. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's at one time or if that might be at one time. That's
Yeah,
insane.
they're not.
But
They're not
you're like, why is this in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
but you got to think about it.
Incredible.
Ever since we've been looking for gear online, Sweetwater's been at the top of the
Yep.
list. Like those
Yeah.
fuckers,
Yep.
their marketing in the big early days is nonstop. Their Google
Oh.
fucking like
Their SEO for Google, they're always first.
Yep.
yeah, they don't play.
Well,
They don't
I-
play. They play. And now that you're telling me what I'm hearing right now, that they got a fucking Disneyland for musicians.
No.
That's I think the reason that they're who they are is like 2,600 employees on site. Didn't see a unfriendly
It's
face in
a
the place.
society.
Everybody looks like they were really happy to be working there. I'm like,
Paid well,
Okay.
probably.
yeah, I'm
Break
glad
room.
anytime somebody can work a music job and get paid well. Amen.
Yeah.
Man,
They have
Sweetwater
a
or
mic.
a
Their
studio
mic
or
locker.
whatever.
Do you see their mic locker, kid?
Uh,
It's like a clear glass thing.
I think
for
I
the,
did
for the
see
3
that, yeah.
studios.
I
And
did
it's
see
just
that.
like all the microphones. And they're like, I asked them, they're like, if you got a cool piece of gear that comes in, do you guys open it and try it in the studio? They're like, absolutely.
Oh,
We
that's
use everything
crazy.
that we sell.
They were doing a Atmos recording there when we were there. They were capturing actually they were capturing an SDS at 1 bit 11 kilohertz, some crazy shit like that. And then they were rendering it down to Atmos, and it was the most unbelievable recording I have ever heard in my entire life. It was
Wow.
breathtakingly stunning.
What were they using a
crazy.
Tascam to capture it?
I don't know. It was the Hazel Rig guys, and
Oh,
like Douglas Fern and the Hazel Rigs and Mike Miller were doing all these live Atmos captures, and then they had this live reverb chamber set up in the racquetball court because, of course, Sweetwater has a racquetball court, so they had like 6 microphones in the racquetball court and 6 microphones in the live room, and they had a ring of instrumentation all around the live room. And I suspect that they were positioning people in different places in the room and recording them one at a time and capturing. It must have been just the most insane track count on planet Earth. But they played it for us in the PMC Atmos room, just like a rough mix of it. And it was life-changing. The shit sounded epic as fuck. You just wouldn't even believe the imaging, and it really felt like you were surrounded by the musicians in the room. And I mean, I can't wait for you guys to hear something like this.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that complex is amazing. It's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. I can't wait to go. I'm gonna need who's plugged in over there?
I don't know.
I gotta find like someone to give me. I gotta find like a manager or somebody, and so they can give me the real tour.
Our one and only executive producer, Big Lou, the man with the plan, the number one plug.
I can connect you to the studios there for sure.
I gotta head out, guys.
You need the real tour.
Yeah, I should probably head out. I got fucking still a long night of work to do.
Yeah,
Yo, this is probably our longest podcast, man.
Dude.
All right,
my guys, real quick before we check out, since I got you guys on here, A to D converter.
Yes.
What do you recommend?
I'm
multi-channel or
using the Avid Matrix. It's great.
2-channel.
So yeah,
2-channel.
The
For
Hilo,
Nico?
Lavery Gold.
I'm gonna go through some of the Hilo. The Carbon is actually really good. The Carbon and the Matrix, but the Carbon I believe has the same A to D. And then a lot of people say the old HDIOs with the Black Lion mod.
Yeah.
And those are my
How
three
about the
tops.
Bombers?
If you like a lot of color,
the Burl.
If you like a lot of coloration, it's great. Yeah.
People argue that you can go with or without color, but they haven't. Let's just say they haven't convinced me yet. It doesn't sound like Bob's convinced either.
It's only color. So when I bought the Hilo, because I wanted clean, because I have my knee summing.
Yeah.
So I wanted clean, but I had the B2 and the Hilo, and the B2 was great, but I could tell I don't want it all the time. I only want it on certain records. So I went Hilo, so.
So Hilo is, let me look at, so how do you spell that?
HILO by Lynx.
Is that the same company that made the Lynx 16?
Yep, the Aurora. Yep.
Yeah, Aurora.
Yeah, but the Hilo's better sounding than the Aurora, and it can be an interface.
They put all that money into just 2 channels.
Yeah, the Hilo can be an interface too, so you can restart your Pro Tools playback engine with the Hilo selector.
Oh, this shit is small too. It's like a small little thing.
It's like a half rack guy. And you can. I got the USB, but you can also get the Thunderbolt. But it's just clean. It's nothing but just whatever your tracks sound like. It's what you're gonna hear.
And how about clocking? Should I be clocking? Because I have a B2, I have a Burl. Should I be clocking with my Apollo, or should I be clocking with my Burl?
Your Burl, probably.
Okay. Now, question for the super nerd question right here, right? I got a Antelope Audio clock. The big boy clocks. Should I be clocking with those?
Yeah, if you got it, go ahead. Because
this one right here, they're not even connected, but these bitches right here. I had them
Atomic.
Yeah, these Atomics.
Oh, forget about it.
That's
supposed to be the best clock in the world.
I mean, them bitches cost $10,000. Them bitches was fucking. They still like $8-9 grand. Like,
you gonna see a difference right away, man.
No,
that's the king daddy of clocks.
Okay, so I'm gonna have. I gotta go and get it connected. Then I gotta have, because if it's one, it's hard when you hear a difference. Like I heard a difference when I heard from the Burl to I forgot what I heard a difference from a Prism and my Burl. The Prism was a lot cleaner, wider, give you a nice clean pop sound, sounded amazing. The Burl gave you a nice grittiness. It gave you a nice little dirtiness, but it made it nice and still it was knocking, right? But clockwise, the only thing I've ever heard a difference has been with those fucking Antelopes. Like immediate, where your shit just goes from, it's not like a mono to stereo difference. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, so I should hook them bitches up. I should be clocking with these. for sure.
They're just sitting there. Definitely
Yes.
hook them up.
Them bitches just sitting there. I got it. No,
Or
I'm gonna get
you don't know what
Or if you
don't-
need somebody to loan them to.
Yeah, if I can give you an
Permanently.
address if you want to FedEx
Yo.
them.
Craziest thing. How about I had 3 sets real quick. I know everybody got over. I had a buddy of mine had fucking 2 Neve 1073 originals, right, in a rack, right? He had 2 sets. He was like, yo, I'm gonna put one on eBay because I don't need it, right? I was like, yo, let me get that shit. He was like, yo, give me $5,000. I was like, man, I was like, I know he's gonna, I'll get him from him eventually, right? This motherfucker put these bitches on eBay and he sold a stereo set. So everyone on eBay kept asking him, like, yo, can you open send me pictures of the inside? The guy's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So he's like, all right,
Before
fuck
the
it.
sealed boxes, I saw this.
Everybody keeps asking me this shit. So he opens them up and they're like, these should say London, like 19, like original, untouched. Like these bitches are like from the factory in the 70s, right?
Sealed.
Whenever they made these shits. And he put those pictures up and them bitches shot up to $25,000.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
I was so mad. I was so mad because I was like, yo, I could have had these bitches for $5,000. I was like, yo, because this is not like the new ones, like, you know, the newer generation modded ones. These shits were untouched. And the guy who bought them, he was like, bro, I have a console and I'm only missing 2. And the whole console is all untouched 1073s.
Oh, that's exactly what I needed.
And I was like, yo, these shits were from the factory from 19, wherever these shits were made. Like they know, because you know that when they open them up, the power supplies were like, they said they had to be square power supplies and they have a stamp from Neve on them. And when he opened them bitches up, they were like, them shits looked like straight fucking tanks. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
But shout out everyone, man. Pleasure. It was great talk. Ken, it was amazing seeing you again, my brother.
Great seeing you. Cool. Great catching up,
You
man.
know, you on that? You on that text thread with everybody, right? The Big Lou text thread.
Oh yeah. I'm
Make
on
sure, I'm gonna lock you in. Let's you know what I'm saying. Let's get some work done. You know what I'm saying,
dude? I would love to catch up, dude, for sure.
My brothers, Nicholas, everybody, bless.
Don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. And see you next time on Faders of the Lost Art.